What's up, XRP family? Thank you guys for joining the video again. Here we can see, guys, there's a very interesting video here. Michael Flynn, former national security advisor of the United States, says this government along with some private actors are right now in a beta test, about a 90-day beta test to test a CBDC. Now what I want you to understand, guys, that these were just conspiracies before, right? So let's take a look at what this guy is saying here, because this video is really giving you another proof of that they are changing the financial system. Let's take a look.
Executive Order 14067 is an executive order on central bank digital currencies, and it is in effect as of 13 December this past month. And this current government, along with some private actors, are right now in a beta test, about a 90-day beta test. And that beta test is to start to test this idea of a central bank digital currency. Now, but
again, see guys, that they're testing a CBDC, they're testing a digital dollar. Let's take a look here.
Clay. 2023, I call it a year of transition, and this is where we got to be out in front of it. The year of transition is really for two things. It's for the financial system, and it's for the health system, global. Okay, not of the United States of America, but this crowd back here, they are now this week talking about, and they'll finish up this week, they're talking about really two big fundamental things that they want to change: the financial system of the world, and we'll talk about BRICS maybe here in a minute, and the health system. So, Clay.
Now here you can clearly see, guys, they want to change the financial system. He literally said it, and it's not a hidden thing anymore, right? It's very obvious what they're doing. They need different solutions. They need liquidity. They need a lot of things to solve what is really going on. I didn't realize it was 6, but I do know about this gem. Check this. It will correlate with your post, Jet McCallop and Jesse Lund from IBM. Take a look what they're saying, guys.
For pretty much all the major currencies.
Actually, Jen, on this point, right? So obviously there's a lot of enthusiasm on stable coins. We discussed it this morning. Technically, on this platform, I could use Lumens. I could use, the Stellar coin if you want, or I could use stable coins. What do you think are the advantages actually for people to use Lumens? And do you believe as we get more and more stable coins, we still have a need for it?
Right, so basically you're not using really one or the other. Like if you're, say, in Mexico, you're going to want to use a peso locally, but when you want to send it, you're converting to something else, right? And so the question is, like, what do you use as the bridge currency between your pesos and, say, real or something like that, right? And you can either, so Lumens are a very natural choice just because there's no counterparty, right? And so it's very easy to go between one and the other thing. You don't want to have like an exchange between each pair of currencies. You don't want like pesos to real, pesos to pesos to like all these different currencies in the world, because you would just lack liquidity, right? So you need some like currency in the middle that you just have one exchange to, and then you have like order in rather than order in squared, different combinations.
And that's the role that Lumens are playing.
That's where Lumens fit in. It's kind of the bridge between all these different other like stable coins.
So who do you keep? I mean, obviously the winners on these will be clients who can now use the platform. It's cheaper, it's faster, it's more efficient. Who do you think the loser is going to be with such developments? I mean, there's obviously worldwide, but there'll be hopefully many others as well. Okay. Who do you think is it SWIFT? Is it correspondent banking? Is it?
Yeah. So from an IBM perspective, we're not discriminating against any one participant. I mean, there's an open invitation to come join the network. We have some minimum criteria. I mean, you have to be a regulated financial institution in good standing with your regulator in the jurisdictions in which you operate. But so I think the only losers are going to be the ones that choose not to play, right? I mean, because I just think the momentum is already going, right? The train is already leaving the station, and you can choose to just not get on, which would be kind of silly because there's no downside for not getting on, right? So so.
Notice how he said the train is already leaving the station. Reminds me of Rosie Rios, which is working with Ripple now, which is also using that phrase and saying that the train has already left the station. Now we can clearly see here that this is Jet McCallop, who's working with Stellar, Lumen, XLM, and not with XRP. He's trying to do the same thing as they are doing with XRP, but he's trying to do it with XLM. Now many people say that XLM is like the rival of XRP. I really disagree, guys. Why do you think Ripple is in a lawsuit and not XLM, not Stellar Lumens, or not the company that is using XLM to do the same thing actually? Why do you think that Ripple is the one partnered with all these banks and not XLM, right? So think about this. XLM is very efficient and it's also having a lot of positive things, but it's not the same as Ripple, guys. Ripple is around for a decade. Remember that. Ripple has significant more partnerships, has built way more liquidity over the time, and has more liquidity ready. So understand that there is a big difference, a big gap, because Ripple is just, let's say it's more mature than XLM is, right? It's way more mature, it has a lot of more experience, and that is why it is the chosen one. Here we can see, guys, the people that were actually there at Davos, which is very interesting, and I wanted to show you guys that these people are quite interesting, right? Let's take a look.
Ask a question and not merely make a comment on the state of the world. And I'll also ask you to stand up just so that our colleagues who are providing the live stream for this will be able to include you in those shots. I'm just going to start with the gentleman closest to me. Klaus Knott, you are here in two capacities, at least for this particular panel. You are the chair of the FSB, which has very important roles to play in the context of opining on financial stability and persuading people that this is an important thing for our overall financial ecosystem. And you are, of course, president of the Central Bank of the Netherlands. Thank you for joining.
So president of the Central Bank of the Netherlands, guys. That's not just there by accident. Klaus Knott, he also talked about using a more efficient way to do payments. He made a video about that, which I also showed in one of my videos, and he was talking about Ripple.
Us today. And immediately following, we have Commissioner Marie McGuinness, who is challenging portfolio, just I think in terms of scope, financial services, financial stability, and the capital markets. Thank you for joining us. Brad, you have perhaps the shortest title, Garlinghouse. You are the CEO of Ripple Labs. But you have, I think, one of the more complex interactions with some of the regulators that we will be discussing about today, so we will certainly be hearing from that. And last but not least, we have His Excellency Omer Sultan Al Ulama, who is representing the UAE. And again, very interesting portfolio that encompasses remote work, artificial intelligence, and digital assets.
Digital assets. So UAE is also working with Ripple, right? And in this debate, you can actually see, which I showed in other videos, guys. I'm not going to get into that right now, but it's just very interesting. Look at the people aboard here and look at Brad Garlinghouse as well. So this should tell you guys things are moving, things are in motion, right? We don't have a lot of time left anymore. The dollar is the reserve in real world, and with inertia that's carrying over the digital world, I don't think that will last forever. What makes a currency influential? Let's take a look at this video, guys.
There, if you think about stable coins in the digital economy. But let me just focus on stable coins first. If it's your question, and we can zoom out to that. So I think currently we're in a phase where there's just a lot of inertia. So we've got dollar as the reserve currency in what I would call the real world. And so a lot of that's just kind of carrying over into the digital space, in the blockchain space. And I think that explains a lot of why US dollar stable coins are so dominant. I don't think that's going to last forever. I think that's, we can ride that inertia for a little bit, but fundamentally, like, what makes a currency influential in the long term? It's got to be trusted and it's got to be used.
Yeah.
And those are related, right? It's going to get used if it's trusted, and if it's trusted, it gets used. And so for trade and finance and reserves, that's the story, right? The reason why the dollar is so trusted and used is because we've got strong rule of law here in America, and we've got a strong economy. And so those things kind of feed each other. There's this interesting concept.
Well, this is very interesting, guys, because why? The trust in the dollar is diminishing. People do not have trust anymore in the dollar. And that is why there is a very big collapse coming of the dollar, which will reset the financial system, which we are talking about always. And that is why, look how Ripple is setting itself up. It's about trust and it's about being used. Now, Ripple is setting itself in a position where it's to be trusted. How? Because of regulation, guys. Once the regulation is there, we absolutely know 100% that Ripple can be trusted, XRP can be trusted. It can become a currency that people can, like, whether put their money in or use it as a transfer mechanism or, you know, whatever. But they're gonna trust it, right? And it's gonna kind of take the place of what the dollar is actually right now. And that's so key to see here, guys. Here we can see Chamber of Digital Commerce mentions Ripple's suite of products versus SWIFT. Let's take a look, guys. The Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection recognized that the adoption of innovative technology could possibly benefit consumers, stating the CFPB also believes that expanded adoption of SWIFT's GPI product or Ripple suite of products could allow banks and credit unions to know the exact final amount that recipients of remittance transfers will receive before they send the transfer. Comparing SWIFT with Ripple here again, guys, which I do not think SWIFT will go away, but they will definitely coexist in a very much more efficient financial system. Thank you very much for watching the video, guys. Catch you in the next one. Cheers.